Deb here, your spiritual cheerleader and mentor. Welcome to Greatest Jesus in Me YouTube channel. And you know what to do. Subscribe now. And friends, today we have a special guest, DJ Good Times.
Thank you for having me here. I am excited to be here and excited to talk about DJing and music and making people feel good.
Yes. I'm excited too because, I've known you for over 10 years and I know you bring it to the table.
Yes, we do. R&R DJ services, our motto is invite your guests and we will do the rest.
Okay. So let us dive in a little bit into your business, your DJ business. So tell us when you started DJing.
So music actually is ingrained in me from birth, I would say, because I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
Back in Kingston, Jamaica, my dad actually owned a local recording studio.
Really?
Yes. So, a lot of the artists, out of Jamaica from in the 70s, at some point in time, they flowed through that record studio. But, back then, equipment was really expensive. So touching the equipment was really off limits. But I was very fascinated, to watch the entertainers come in and, the operators operating the mixing board and stuff. So even though it was off limits, I was always close by watching them. And then, of course, curious me as a kid, when your dad is not looking, you touch something, you're just excited to be a part of that environment. So I grew up with that. My older brother actually, he was a local DJ in New York.
Okay, so wait a minute. So now you're not in Jamaica anymore.
We migrated, right? We migrated to the US.
Okay, gotcha.
And my older brother, along with some of his friends, they became, locally known as a local disc jockey, and they started doing parties all over the place. So then, that love from that early age transitioned with that, where I was going all over the place with them, helping them set up. But again, you were still off limits because that's their equipment and stuff. My brother and I, we were actually going to put together and we were going to open a club in New York. And then his buddy moved to Georgia and he helped him move, went to Georgia and fell in love with Georgia. So that kind of killed opening up the club dream. But I decided, well, since he moved to Georgia, I was going to continue on. But instead of opening up a club, I was going to take the equipment that we were buying up and just started doing parties for folks. 16, 17 is when I actually, putting my own DJ system together and doing parties for friends. It's someone's birthday party, I would be the DJ. And those early age just helped me hone in my skills. It wasn't really a business then. It was just that passion for music and DJing and entertaining.
Right.
Fast forward a little bit, I joined the military. I was in Fort Myer, Virginia. We used to visit the local NCO club on the weekends. And they really, the genres of music that they played wasn't broad. It was geared to one particular audience, even though the military, is very diverse and stuff. So, but from my early days, the audience that came to either the studio session or the parties that my brother did was very diverse. So, I was trained to play music, across a wide variety of genres. So I approached the manager at the club and explained to them that, hey, I'm a local DJ, and that the genre of music I play is an array of genres, not just one particular genre. And she was excited about that, because she had the same sentiment that they play the same music, they don't mix it up, and then, growing up in Jamaica, we listened to a lot of country music. Right? People think it's just all reggae, but we listen to a lot of country music, so which country music was in my arsenal, so she gave me a shot. That turned out really, really well. And then the word started spreading that, hey, there's a new DJ at the NCO club, and he play a variety of genre and stuff. So that worked there. And then I just took it with me wherever I went in the military. I went to Korea, and as soon as I got there, I went to the NCO club, asked if they had a DJ, and if luck would have it, that DJ was in my unit that I was assigned to.
Wow.
So I went, I met him, spoke to him, and he told me, look, when I'm in the field, I'll have you cover me. And they go to the field for 30 days, and that took off in Korea. So I and I just took it from there. And then wherever I went, I stopped into the local NCO club and, approached them. And if a guest appearance I would do until somehow I'm on the rotation. We were at a wedding in New York, and the wedding was, it was okay, but the what I felt was wrong is that the selection wasn't, diverse enough to folks could enjoy a variety of music and stuff. So while they did like it at the beginning, it got old, and so then that's when I'm like, you know what? Well, maybe I could start offering my services to weddings and be able to do that, that style of playing. So then I called myself DJ Rob.
By the way, just to make everybody know, your stage name is DJ Good Times, but
DJ
your
Good Times
name is Robert. So,
yes, it is.
So you started as DJ Rob.
I started as DJ Rob.
Okay.
And I'm doing weddings, I'm doing, birthday parties and all this stuff. What I noticed at a lot of the weddings is I would be the person lining them up to enter the ballroom. I would be the person making the announcement, what's coming up, and and then something clicked. I said, that's a whole other business. I said, I'm the, because then I was thinking I'm the DJ.
Right.
Right. So my mindset was, well, I'm the DJ. Why am I doing all this other stuff? But I realized in the wedding business, it's not just DJing, because that client, the option is a band, live singer,
right.
DJ. So really, when they hire you, you are the entertainment of choice.
Right.
I started putting that together, and I said, well, my goal, my job is to ensure that they have a good time.
Yes.
So that every preparation for every wedding, I put that energy into it. I'm going there so they can have a good time. So rather than just go there and get behind the turntables and DJ, no, I am the entertainer for the evening, right? So I get out and I am dancing with them, right? I am on the microphone and I'm in between to ensure there's no dead space. I am interacting with the guests. And the more I did it, it's the more I started structuring my format for the wedding. And then I came up with, there's no two wedding is the same.
Right.
So what I started doing is every single wedding, I don't use what worked at the previous wedding.
So you kind of customize
every wedding.
For each couple.
each couple's wedding is customized. And I want every client to say, this is the best wedding I've ever been.
When did you switch from DJ Rob to DJ Good Times?
Okay. So I was doing it maybe about a year, and I started structuring the way how I did it. Right. And I started doing what I call some backwards planning. So as I'm reflecting on the time I've been doing it, I was taking stock as to what went right, what went wrong, what can I improve upon, right? As I was going through and doing that layout, I said, every DJ kind of called their DJ name, stage name is their name. So I said, how do I separate myself from the pop? Because there are a lot of great DJs out there, right? And do good, and you have, DJ Ron, DJ Mike, and I said, well, DJ Rob just seemed like, you're in the pop. It was the safe thing to do, So then I realized, well, when you go out, everyone is always saying they had a good time, and DJ Good Times was born.
Okay. And you also provide an array of services.
So my wife, she has a real knack, at the time for, coordinating, decorating and stuff. So we took all the services that I did that was not considered DJing and structured that into a wedding coordinating service. You'll have someone that's your coordinator either for the day, or you can have someone coordinate, your entire wedding.
Right.
And that entire business was grown from there. Sometimes they'll have their specials, guests that they want to do, be the master of ceremony.
Right.
But a lot of times they'll say, DJ Good Times, can you make the announcements for us? Or can you, or after our initial meeting, they'll go, I like your voice,
That's what I was about to say. You have the voice, and I've heard you before.
Yeah. So what I did, I started marketing my voice.
Okay.
I said, well, even if you don't hire me to be your DJ, I could be your master of ceremony. So another segment of the business was born. We started, looking across the wedding entertaining arena and look at the stuff that a couple would need, cradle to grave from entertainment perspective, and then we started packaging. Of course, one size doesn't fit all. So we created packages that clients could choose from, and packages that fit within their budget. What
is your preparation for a wedding?
Preparation is definitely the key. So we have, a free consultation that we do where we meet with the client, free of charge, and kind of get a general idea of what is their vision. What's your vision for your special day? And we like to meet, sometimes we meet with the bride by themselves, but we like to meet with the bride and the groom if it's a wedding. And even if it's an event outside of a wedding, we still do the same thing. We meet with the client. So we meet with the client, and then we have a checklist that we go through with the client. We look at the number of guests that they're having, and like we tell them, your guests better than we, right? So instead of having them go detailed for music selection, I tell them, give me the genres, right? What are the genres of music that you listen to? Because it's their wedding. I said, the genre of music, like when you were in college and high school, what did you listen to, right? And they'll give me the genre. And I said, well, when you're with your friends and you guys are going out, what are the genre of music that entertains you? And then from that, we can build a playlist across those genres. Another thing with R&R DJ services is we don't play, no cursing, nothing derogatory, and we
No
tell them
profanity.
no profanity, nothing degrading, and because some of the songs, even though they're edited, it's still explicit, right?
Right.
And we look at your wedding, you're gonna have your parents, your grandparents, your kids, your friends, co-workers. So that's something we adapted very early. So you'll never be at a DJ Good Times event and hear any type of profanity, any type of curse.
That's very good. That's very good.
So we'll tell them that up front. And then from there, we take, those genres, and then we tell them for specific, like your first dance, if you want an entrance song, those stuff you could be, very specific. And then also customize it, because sometimes they'll say, well, I really like this song, but I only like it from this section to here. So we can customize and be able to say, well, we're not going to play the entire song. We're just going to do extract from here to here. So we customize, and that's why no two weddings are the same. Once we build a section and have all the specific stuff, we do a complete run through where, especially your first dance, and then we bring backup of every. So we have our main, because now everything is electronic, so we're not using record and stuff anymore, electronic music. So we'll have the entire playlist on removable drive, and then we'll have a backup removable drive that we do. Now, for your specific songs, we'll have it on that removable drive, and we'll have it on a thumb drive, because it's electronic music and stuff can go wrong. We'll have that. Then prior to the actual wedding, we play everything in its entirety. Like, you play the song in its entirety to ensure that it plays from start to finish, especially that first dance, because 99% of the time that's being recorded, just paying attention, and you're trying not to mess up their first dance.
Right.
And at every event, we have a backup system. We have the main laptop that's playing, and then we have a backup laptop, because we try to make any type of glitch seamless as possible to the client and their guests. Sometimes they just think we're changing over from one song to another, but if I'm using a laptop and something happened, maybe it freezes or something, that backup laptop is always queued to what's going on the main laptop. So if there's a glitch, I just switch over to the backup laptop, and they just think I'm doing some type of special mix and fade in the next one. So that's the level of detail that we put in every event to ensure that, one, we're customizing as we pledge, and that we're ensuring that the client is going to get the DJ good time experience.
What you just said, it shows us that it entails a lot of work before the event, behind the scenes doing the event, making sure everything is right.
The average client, they'll hire you they'll go, well, we only need you for 5 hours. But, again, like you said, we backward plan everything, right? So if you're the DJ and that wedding is going to begin at 5 o'clock, and they'll say, well, we only need you from 5 to 10. So I'll tell clients, but we have to get there. We have to set up. So another policy of ours, we are at every event, 2 hours before the event. So we get there, we set up, because if you think about a wedding, 90% of the time, the ceremony and the actual reception is not in the same location.
Yes, right? That's right.
So another policy of ours is we don't have the guests see us move anything from location A to location B. So if your ceremony is outside in a garden or somewhere, we have a full setup there. And then the guests transition into maybe a cocktail hour. We have another setup there. And then the guests transition into a reception. We have another set. So everything is seamless to the guests.
So you all accommodate all those things.
We accommodate each aspect. Sometimes we're only hired for the ceremony, so then there's one setup. But for the most part, we're hired to do the actual ceremony, cocktail hour, and the reception. We're set up and ready, at least a half an hour before the actual event. We get there, we do all our system checks, make sure everything is good. Once the officiant comes in, we get them mic'd up so folks can hear them. So I like to make sure that we troubleshoot all that stuff before the first guests arrive. By the time that first guest walk into that venue, it's usually background music playing, and they don't see any of the pre-work that goes in. And then, of course, once everyone is happy and they had a good time and they're leaving, we're there another hour and a half or so, making sure everything is taken down and we're out of there. And success for me is where the guest is leaving and saying, this is the best wedding I've ever been to.
Right.
I try to leave them on a high note. Right? I'm usually, leaving them wanting more, or going up to that bride and groom and saying, best wedding ever. And that approach that we do for every single event.
This has been a passion of yours your whole life. And you take it seriously, and you give 100% plus.
It is, because that's what we are differentiating ourselves on from other DJ companies. Is that while you're going to get a DJ with us, you're getting an entertainer.
Right.
And, we're going to entertain your grandparents. We're going to entertain your kids. We're going to entertain mom. So we do have some trade secrets that over the years we have developed, to ensure entertainment, because sometimes, the guests, people are a little shy. Now, when the dance floor is packed, they'll sneak their way in there, but no one wants to be the first.
Right.
We have we came up with ways. What do you do to energize folks to want,
and to get them on the floor?
They want to run to the floor, so there's stuff that we incorporate, that stuff we can take from one wedding to another, because we know, this method in terms of getting folks to the floor works. So as they're eating, and that's the beauty about playing a variety of genre, because you can watch the crowd and you can see what they're bobbing their heads to, as you mix it up while they're eating. And that's the purpose.
So that's a key thing there that you're saying. So you observe the guests and kind of get a feel for what will move them. Okay.
Because while we have a playlist, as we're going through the playlist, I'm looking at the genre of music and what percentage of the audience is really engaging with that genre. And then I could say, well, okay, because we already have our playlist built.
Right.
Thing that we do with the bride and groom, we give them a must play. Like they'll tell us, this is you have to play this at my wedding. And they also have a do not play under no circumstances. So it's very tailored to that client. And then you now read the guests as to how they're interacting with the different genre that you're playing. Two opportunity before the dancing start to really get a good understanding of your genres and your playlist, how you're going to go. And sometimes you have to adjust at the event because your genre is set up and you're at the cocktail hour. And cocktail hour, they're mingling and, you're playing some music, but they're still listening. So you're at the cocktail hour and you're taking notes there. And then at the actual dinner, you're doing the same thing, because even though you're playing background music, you're changing up the genres as you go, and you're observing there too. So you take the cocktail hour, the dinner, and you look at, okay, so these are the genres that the majority of the crowd, and then majority rules. You start playing, you get the majority of them, and everyone just following. Folks are there to celebrate with the bride and groom, but the bride really sets the tone.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
So I tend to figure out the music that the bride likes, and I try to get the bride and groom to be the ones that really open up the dance floor. Because when you tell the guests, the bride and groom would like you to join in with them, and they're there to celebrate with them, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and then if it's a genre that the bride really likes, then she's gonna start getting, and then the folks are gonna, and then you just build on that from there.
But it's good that you involve everybody, because you said everybody is entertained, no matter the age, whether it's grandma, mom, the child, a younger, a teenager, young adult. Everybody is going to have a good time with DJ Good Times. So
that's the objective.
So what advice or tips would you give somebody that is thinking or considering going into the DJ business?
So the DJ business, with electronic music now, when we started out, we had records, right? And if you're going somewhere, you have hundreds and hundreds of records. And as technology changed, now you could go to a wedding and you have, maybe 2 or 3 hard drive, that could hold your entire library. So if you're going into the DJ business, I said you have to put some passion in it, because you're just going into it just to say, well, I'm going to go play some music, because again, with electronic music, a bride and groom can get their iPod and probably get some speakers and
yes, that's true.
Collections in there, and they're their own DJ. So you have to put some passion into it. You have to ensure that you understand that this is not just another party, right? This is someone, hopefully once in a lifetime event that they're having there from, and understand the magnitude of who you are to that event, right? And be able to come in and ensure that, one, the bride and groom and their guests, is fully entertained. So, upcoming DJs, I would say, get attached to some type of music library database that you can acquire music across multiple genres. Because if you just come in and you're in one genre, after a while, folks are going to be bored. So you have to be able to play across multiple genres, and in order to ensure that you're keeping up, with some of the ladies, but then make sure, because you're going back also, because it might be grandma that's going to request something from the 60s or something from the 70s. So you want to attach yourself to a good music supplier that have a wide variety of genre that you can get music from. Today there's streaming, where instead of even carrying around records, you could tie yourself to a streaming service to where you could just stream that song directly from the. So you're not storing anything; you're getting it right from these companies that allow you to buy membership and just stream. The drawback to that for me, it's all electronic stuff. You're talking about, you have to have good internet service if that's what you're doing. So invest a little bit. If you're going to start up, invest a little bit in the equipment that you use. Don't just buy a speaker just because, oh, I need a speaker.
That too, the sound is important.
The sound is important, and you need quality equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Quality equipment. If you don't have quality equipment, it's going to show immediately. Right. So if you can't start out with the top of the line, you get something midway, work yourself up till you can get there. Because as a mobile DJ, you're setting up and taking down, and you need something that can withstand that robust setup, take down, plug in, plug out. So you're not having equipment failure. Another thing I would say is you got to have a backup. You can have a backup if you're playing with laptops, and which everyone is today. You have to have a backup because equipment fails, even the best of equipment. And you got to have a backup. So start with quality equipment. Start with database service for music that can give you an array of genre. And you have to practice. You have to practice. You can't go to someone's event and it's the first time you're doing a mix. So most time when I'm at an event and the clients are reacting to a mix, I have failed at that mix 100 times in my practice session until I get it right. Right? What they're hearing.
That's not the place to practice.
Not the place.
Not the event.
Not at someone's event, especially not at someone's wedding, right? And you have to also take your personal likes out of DJing, right?
That's important.
Yes, I'm a lover of reggae music, but I'm not going to go to someone's event and just play reggae music because that's what I like to hear. You have to get comfortable with multiple genres of music, because you might have a client that, don't want to, on the do not play list, it might be reggae.
Right.
And then what do you do if that's your comfort zone? So that would be my advice to an upcoming DJ. Acquire good equipment, get with a service that offers an array of different genres, right? And, get comfortable with, other music other than genres of music other than the stuff that you like. There's a lot of times when you're not DJing to listen to your stuff.
This is the way you start to build your reputation.
Right.
And what you want also is word of mouth for people to refer you to other people. So if you do a good job there, the people that are enjoying it, if they have an event, and it doesn't have to be a wedding, if they have a special event, they're going to remember, you know what? I really had a good time with DJ Good Times, and I'm going to get him for my event. Or if they hear somebody having an event and they say, you know something, I was at this wedding, or I was at this 50th birthday party or 70th birthday party, and DJ Good Times was there and we had such a good time. This is the person you want to get. So that's the way you get repeat customers. You get people referring you, especially when you do a good job at your job.
Right. That is definitely the nail on the head right there, because I cannot tell you how many clients have called me and said, I was at a wedding that you were the DJ, and they were just attending the wedding and they have reached back to that client to get the number. So, when you're a DJ, and that's another thing I always say, you're auditioning for that future client also. Your thing is invite your guests and we'll do the rest. DJ good time. You want to ensure folks are having a good time. Don't just play the music, let it spin out, play another music and let it play out. It's you are the entertainment for that event. Wedding, anniversaries, birthday parties, you are the entertainment.
And you have to be engaged during the event, not like distracted and you doing your own thing or you on the phone and all this stuff. You really have to be, as you were saying before, paying attention to the guests. see
Yeah,
what they like, and being there in your case to entertain and make sure everybody is having a good time.
you do.
So, anything else you'd like to leave our audience with before we close out here?
So as I mentioned before, we are in DJ Good Times with R&R DJ Services, and the second half of the R&R, right, is you know R&R wedding and events, right? So we have grown
Mm-hmm.
beyond DJing to
Right.
where we offer an array of other services within that wedding um, event coordinating business. So, when you think of R&R DJ services, it's not just DJing.
Mm-hmm.
It's R&R DJ services, R&R wedding and events, which encompass, your coordinating, your wedding planning, your birthday party planning, baby shower planning. So R&R DJ service is just an array of services that help you materialize your vision for whatever event you're having.
Well, DJ Good Times, thank you so much for being our special guest at Greater is Jesus in Me YouTube channel.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
So, friends, remember, subscribe now. Be blessed, and until next time.